This is your boy Abdul Akil coming straight to you with the facts. This is a sports show, and we just go get straight to the subject. I want to get started on the beginning of this NBA season. I want to give some observations, some opinions on what I'm seeing from the team so far. First on the list is the Boston Celtics. Last year, we all know the Celtics went through the whole sagas and trials of Kyrie Irving and the other players not feeling the cohesiveness and team coach turmoil, just dysfunctional. They had a decent record, but we all knew they weren't going anywhere because the chemistry was not there. And what I'm seeing is a big difference from last year to this year's offensive efficiency. I believe last year, when it was all said and done, the Celtics finished 11th in offensive efficiency. So far this year, they're number one. They're more team-oriented. The ball is just not stopping with one player. Although Jason Tatum is taking a lot of shots, I feel like the offense is designed for him to do that. Ultimately, I believe that they believe that he's a star that will be able to take them to the next level. I know they signed Kemba Walker, but I believe they want Jason Tatum to be the complementary player to him. So far, what I'm seeing from the Celtics is looking good. Second on my list is the Lakers. The Lakers last year, I believe they started 0-3 or 0-4. And, it was just a bad season overall. LeBron got hurt for 18 games. Wasn't much help from the early draft picks that they traded away from AD. So far this year, they started 10-2. They're off to a fast start. LeBron is playing point guard, basically, not taking as much shots, facilitating, making the game easier for the players around him. So far, the Lakers are looking real good. Anthony Davis is looking like a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. The bench players, they're playing their role. Shooters are making shots. They can make a little bit more. And I just want to see what happens when Kuzma gets into full form. Third team, the Clippers. They came into this season with a lot of hype. I believe they will live up to the hype. But after a quick start, they're now 7-5. I feel like Kawhi Leonard taking days off is going to hinder their record from being what it should be, which will make them a lesser seed in the playoffs and make it a harder road. But none of that really matters when you get to the playoffs. I believe they have the players to get it done. I believe it will be them and the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. Some other observations. The Phoenix Suns are holding tough despite the suspension of DeAndre Ayton for PEDs. I believe if he wasn't suspended, their 7-4 record would be more around 9-2. But right now they're holding strong. Devin Booker seems to have taken the next level of development in his game, going from a scorer actually facilitating. One surprising factor, but not surprising to me, is the Golden State Warriors potentially being a lottery pick team. I kind of knew it. I'm not trying to be negative, but I knew that Curry would have to carry too much of the load and would result in injury. Now, this freak injury with this whole breaking the hand, I never thought it was going to be that. I just thought that he was going to put a lot of stress on those ankles, and we know how Curry's ankles are. The Toronto Raptors are holding strong, showing they still have that championship DNA. They're not backing down, and I think ultimately they have a chip on their shoulder, the fact that Kawhi left and everybody is just writing them off, and I feel like they're going back to the playoffs. But overall, you can see the overall balance in the NBA now. Just about every team within the top 8 is within 3.5 games. Yes, from 8 to number 1 in each conference, the difference in 1 and 8 is 3.5 games. It's actually 5.5 in the East, but we all know the East is not as good as the West. And that's my early opinion on the season so far. This is Abdullah Akil speaking. Y'all get with me.
Wait, no, we gotta